Hello, everyone. I'm truly excited today. I've got a very inspiring person with me. He's a fashionista, a filmmaker, a cinematic alchemist. I would say he's also a producer, Indian writer, and trust me, I can just go on and on. So I've got the one and only Mr. Moses Singh with me. It's an honor and privilege to have you in this new episode, Moses, and we're going to share some insights on your journey with our viewers today. So welcome to the SDJ podcast. Yeah, to
Thank
begin.
you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So to begin with, I want to start, Moses, like today, if your life, was a film, what would be the title today and how different would it be probably 10 years ago?
What would be the title of my life?
Yeah.
Uh, The Octopus,
Okay.
because I have so many things, I have so many uh, areas of interest and so many passions, and I'm so fortunate that that I'm being given this gift where I'm being allowed to exercise and utilize all of them in the best way possible. Whether it's a whether as a filmmaker, a writer, producer, director, with all the stuff that I'm developing right now, or um, as an author with the books that I'm working on, um, with my love for fashion, which is such a vibrant force in my life, and that I'm able to fully live in in a complete way. So that for me is really exciting, and I'm excited to balance all these things. And I think of myself as an octopus. Yeah.
Actually, I feel that, you didn't choose cinema, cinema chose you. When did it actually stop becoming a fascination and it became an identity for you?
You know, the reason why I am in cinema, why I work in films is because I was growing up fascinated by it. So it started from there.
Okay.
Uh, I didn't know anything about, of course, the craft or the technique or anything growing in the growing up years, but I was just completely enthralled by all aspects of it.
Right.
And then my parents were amazing with me because they allowed me to live my dream, and they never once objected to me wanting to be in films because I came from such a different world. And it's only when I started to formally work in films, which was more than 20 years ago when I moved to Mumbai,
Right.
um, did I actually start to understand what this whole thing was about, because till then it was just passion and fascination and not really knowing that much.
Right.
And I think somewhere through the course of that journey, while I was in Mumbai and I started to understand the business, and I started to understand um, the level of artistry and creativity and craft that it takes to become excellent at what you do, was when I truly began to fall in love with it. And once I began to fall in love with it, and once I began to understand it and fall in love with it, um, like you said, it pulled me to it rather than me pulling myself to it. And that's the way that it's always happened. I mean, I am completely like in total shock, even now, after having done so much work, that I still work in films, that I work in films at all, because it's just such a dream come true for me. And that the fact that it's happening continues to shock me in the most beautiful way.
Okay. And do you actually believe, like great storytelling comes with like pain or it's an observation, according to you?
I mean, yeah, I think it's both of those things. I think pain is definitely a very big part of it. But also how you process that pain is very important, because a lot of people, everybody goes through some level of pain or trauma in their lives, whatever that might be. Um, the point is to accept it and to live with it and to nourish it and to then put it back into your work, not to run away from it, not to hide from it, not to pretend that it's not there, which is also what a lot of people do. And that, I think, makes your work really shallow. Um, but I think being an observer of life is one of the most important things that has been my teacher for making films. Because understanding human behavior, understanding different worlds, understanding different communities across different worlds, and understanding how we as human beings were all essentially made in very similar ways, or maybe even in the same way, internally react to things in the way that we do, and all of it can be so different from each other, and then all of it can also be very alike. And I think all of those things are what create the human experience.
Okay.
And that for me is a very fascinating thing to constantly observe. I am constantly curious
Right.
about that. And also, I think reading has been a big thing for me. Like, I'm a voracious reader, and I think it has constantly fired up my imagination. And of course, watching cinema, all kinds of cinema, whether it's from wherever in the world, and
Right.
all kinds of things to keep my mind open and to keep it receptive and to keep it lateral and to never really think that I have in my thought, in my imagination, in my deeds arrived in some way,
Right.
and to constantly keep exploring. I think that has been those all of those things combined together have actually informed my work as a filmmaker.
And how do you actually balance, everything, something deeply personal along with being, universally relatable? How do you balance the two?
I mean, frankly speaking, I think it's quite simple because pain, joy, resentment, anger, love, bitterness, jealousy, euphoria, all these are feelings we all feel. They're all universal feelings. And actually, every story that we write, we direct, anybody makes, whether it's a book or a film or a painting or whatever it is meant to evoke these basic emotions in all of us, right? Whatever that might be. So I think universally we're all kind of looped in with each other, and I think we're all very interconnected to each other. So our personal stories resonate with the person sitting next to us because he or she has felt that at some point, or in some way, or in some level, or in some other form of complexity. And but the seed for it is all coming from the same is all coming from the same place. The seed, yeah.
And also, do you think, like struggle defines vision or, it's test patience, according to you?
You know, I stopped having an issue with the word. Started having an issue with the word struggle itself many years ago because I think struggle is a very negative and a very kind of low energy word,
Right.
right? Uh, I felt that if because it took me a long time to make my first film, Zuban, like 7 or 8 years, and in the beginning, I only thought of it as a struggle.
Yeah.
And I realized that I wasn't enjoying myself while I was trying to make this, while I was trying to pursue the making of this film. And I didn't realize what and I didn't like what I was feeling from inside or what I was just feeling as a person. And the truth was that I had to continue to struggle to make the film happen, but I didn't want to look at it as a struggle anymore.
Right.
So I kind of flipped the narrative in my head, and I basically said, this is not a struggle. This is a grand adventure that I'm on,
Right.
right? This is the grand adventure of life, and I am going to go through extreme highs and extreme lows in order to get to the end. But if I treat it as just a wonderful roller coaster ride that I'm on, and it is this giant adventure that is going to take me through this and that, then the whole thing changes, right? And I really started to like look at my entire life in that way, not just the making of Zuban. And it changed everything for me because I actually don't believe that um um, anything worthwhile comes out of a lot of hard work and persistence and effort and
Mm.
kind of putting your guts out there and being like, okay, this is what I am. This is who I am.
Yeah.
So anything has to come from that point of view, and it can come uh, in whichever way. But whenever it comes, it makes your experience and whatever that you're creating a very rich thing.
Right.
So I think it's all part of the game. It's
Right.
all part of the game. This is life.
Yeah. Also, everything looks glorious on the outside. To make a film, it's not easy. There are a lot of things which go behind, the hustle to make a film. So, in today's time, probably the world is, for validation, they go through numbers. But for a filmmaker, how do you protect your silence and intuition?
It's like it's a balancing act, definitely for sure. Um, the thing is that it's very important to not make your art in any isolation from what the reality of the market is and from what the reality of the world is.
Right.
I think it's very important to find the right balance between what you want to say and how you want to express yourself artistically, and then marrying it to the demands of the world, right? I think if you try to isolate the two from each other, you lose yourself in the cracks. You kind of fall in the middle of it all. I think the point is to take what the market reality and what the global reality of your profession is telling you, and to marry it with your artistic reality. And so I think that's what needs to be done, because they cannot work in isolation. And if they do work in isolation, then you definitely lose out on something.
Right. Also, Moses, I probably believe, personally, also, I believe that, spirituality plays a big role in everyone's life. You yourself being a Shiv Bhakt, how does spirituality really help you as a person or shape your life?
Uh, I mean, what do I even say about this? It's just like literally the anchor of my life.
Yeah.
I have deep, deep, deep faith
Okay.
in energy, in the universe, or whatever it is that you want to call it, in God.
Yeah.
Um, and it's unrelenting, it's unwavering. Uh, this faith has taught me everything that I need to know up till now. I mean, I'm sure there are miles more to learn,
Right.
but up till now, whatever it is that I know and whatever it is that I am and the person that I am has been shaped because of my spiritual experiences. And I don't even know how to imagine my world without it, right? It is such a deep and guiding and potent force in my life. And I think the most wonderful thing that I continue to discover as I go deeper into my spiritual journey is that actually all the answers for everything are all inside me,
Right.
right? Going to temples and shrines and looking for answers is not the solution. One goes there to actually say thank you and to feel a level of peace,
Right.
right? And to feel the energy, to soak in the energy. One doesn't go to all these places because one wants to ask for something. I never ask for anything,
Okay.
right? But I don't need to ask for anything because everything is already inside me.
Right.
And I feel that what I want is already pulsating out of me, pulsating out of my aura, pulsating out of my energy, pulsating out of my DNA. I don't need to ask for it. It's there.
Right.
And if my purpose and my intention is real and it's honest, I think I'll get to where I have to. I might just get it at my own time,
Right.
right? I've also really, really come to understand that nothing is ever late.
Yeah.
Nothing is ever late. The universe gives it to you when the time is right,
Mm.
when your moment is there, and when, if you're really, really truthfully, honestly invested in it, the universe will notice that and then eventually give it to you when they feel that you're ready to have it.
Okay.
So I just really believe in all these things, and I don't think that any of this would be possible if I didn't have a deep spiritual practice, which is literally the anchor and the guide of my existence.
Okay. After achieving so much in your life, I'm sure you certain have certain targets or goals for yourself, which you still want to achieve, probably 5 or 10 years down the line, if I see Moses, what am I going to be seeing?
The thing is about achievements and all that stuff. I really like, um, I try not to stay attached to any of those things. And I really, really work hard on that. It's something that I really work on very conscientiously. I've been lucky and very grateful for this to have won a bunch of awards in my career. I don't have a single one of them at home. They're all with my parents because I don't even want to see them. I don't even want to evoke the memory of
Right.
that past glory or whatever it is.
Okay.
I try to stay removed from everything that I may have achieved in the past because I feel like I have so much more to do and so much more to achieve. And whatever happened in the past is just, it's history. It's history. I'm very grateful for it,
Yeah.
but I don't rest on it and I don't want to rest on it because it's also very kind of boring to become that kind of a person. One always has to be adventurous and curious all the way through.
Yeah.
Um, Where I want to go from here is actually, it's not about winning some big award or winning all of those things or being like filthy rich or being any of that. Sure, that'll be great if that happens. All those things happen. I'm not like denying it. But actually, my truest ambition is to do incredible work, incredible work, just to be really, really good at my work and to keep getting better with everything that I do. Because that is what the thing that gives me the most satisfaction more than any accolade or more than any award or more than anything else is just to be able to nail my work in the best way possible. Right. And while I'm doing that, I want to be very spiritually grateful.
Right.
Right. I don't want to be consumed by arrogance and any of those things. So I aspire for that. That's what I aspire for.
Yeah, I think I need to agree with that, because even I believe, it's gratitude in everything you do. The world is, first of all, you're breathing, every day is a new day. And the fact that you're breathing, and you have a new day in your life, that itself is a big blessing. So I couldn't agree more with you. Also, I want to know,
Yeah.
what's that one truth, probably about the film industry that people normally don't talk much about?
Oh God, there are so many. Um, Truth about the film industry is that fame and the glamour and the glory and all that stuff are really, really, really like the end product, the end game, right? That before you get to those points, you really have to go through a lot of hard work, a lot of perseverance, a lot of kind of really kind of letting it all hang out and giving 2000% of yourself to this work and to this industry and to this line and to this profession because it is not going to do anything for you if you don't give it that. It consumes you in every possible way. And if you're ready to be consumed, should you be in the movie business? Because there are no half measures here. There is nothing that happens just by chance. Everything happens by sheer hard work and effort.
Right,
And when you work hard and when you make the effort, the opportunities naturally come to you.
right,
But to get to that point, you really, 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 really have to work.
right.
The misconception that a lot of people have, and especially a lot of new people entering the film industry, is that they just see the glamour,
Exactly.
right? But that's really literally the end point of the whole thing.
Yeah,
So I think that is one very, very, very relevant truth about the industry. If you want to join movies, get ready to roll your sleeves up and have your blood be drawn from you, like literally.
you're a fashion icon. Even I love fashion, so I want to know one thing. Today, probably you think creators are actually born or actually, they're built through experience and exposure.
I mean, it works both ways. I think you can't generalize. I think it works both ways. Some people are born with a natural instinct for everything,
Right.
and some people learn it through the journey of their lives, right? And I just actually said this the other day as well that learning is also an art form, right? Learning, you learn something and then you mold it and adapt it to yourself, right? Because what you learn and what I might learn might be the same thing, but how it works on us could be very, very different because you are you and I am me and we're not the same. So I think that both things are possible. You can have a natural instinct for everything and you can acquire the skill. If you acquire the skill, it has to be done. The expression has to come out in a naturalistic way because when you acquire something and you do it and you show yourself in a cultivated way, it just somehow comes out. I don't know. It's not cool.
Today, if you had to rewrite your legacy, or something like someone would like to remember your legacy, would you want like the Moses Singh, the filmmaker, or the human being?
Definitely the human being.
Okay.
Definitely the human being. I think I'm I can't just be put into one box. I don't want to be ever be that person. I am a filmmaker, but I'm also a human being, and being a human being is the biggest thing.
And also, I want to know, there's a lot of young, especially the youngsters of today, the youth, or I would say the Gen Zs of today, they want to get into this trade, they want to, they don't have patience like, probably what we had back in the day. What is the attributes one must have, because there's a lot of talent in our country, there's no dearth of talent, but they don't probably get the
Lots.
yeah, they don't probably get the right channel or the right guidance, to get into this kind of business. So if you had to give a positive message from you to them, what would you say?
Work on your craft before you work on anything else.
Right,
Because everybody can have six packs and everybody can have eight packs, and there are a lot of great dancers and there are a lot of great fighters, and many guys and girls can ride horses beautifully, and all of that stuff can happen. But if you don't work on your craft, there's nothing that separates you from the next person.
right,
Because how you interpret a scene based on what you have learned in your craft is going to be in only a way that you can do it.
right,
Nobody else can replicate how you will interpret a scene and how you will perform that scene,
right,
right? Everybody else will have their own way of doing it, which is what separates everyone from everyone else. So that is the only thing that will make somebody really, really turn around and look at you. If you work on your craft and you prioritize that more than you prioritize how good your abs look. Seriously.
Okay, so now that comes to a fun segment. This is the rapid fire round. These going to be quick questions from my side to you, just to know you more personally. So the first one would be, one film that changed your life.
I find this the most difficult question. I've got this question many times, and I don't know, man. I've seen so many films. I started watching films when I was very young, and I don't know. I feel if I were to really, really pinpoint, it would be like definitely one of the Amitabh Bachchan
Right,
phenomenal classics from the days gone by. Whether it's Diwar, or whether it's Amar Akbar Anthony, or whether it's Muqaddar Ka Sikandar. I don't know. I think those are the films like in the initial stages of my life that really, really like just had me in their thrall. So I would say that, but then I don't know.
right. You're also like bit old school like me. Even, I also love old school and classics. So uh,
I mean, that's where it started. So
it's
you got to
fun.
you got to you got to you got to give respect to where it all began, right?
Right,
Of course, through the journey of life and by growing up and having so much exposure and having lived abroad and traveled so much outside of this country and all of that stuff, one has now experienced so much different kind of cinema,
right,
right? And all of it has been like the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful experience.
right.
But I always, when someone asks me this question, I always have to think back of where did it all begin? And I really feel it began there.
Fame or freedom?
Freedom. Oh my God, any day, freedom. Freedom makes me feel the most secure about myself.
Okay.
Freedom is my security. Like if I don't have freedom, I can't operate. So freedom any day.
One emotion you chase in every story.
I I, I chase quite a few, but I think what really, really gets me every time, and I think this is a recurring theme in everything that I write, is the loss of identity,
Okay.
and then the hope and the fight and the power and the struggle to bring that identity back. That is something that I feel is there in everything that I do. Identity is a very recurring theme in everything that I write. And this is something that I have discovered about myself as I've continued to write more and more. Right. And I write a lot. I write all the time. If I'm, if I have any free day, I don't sit out the day like whiling around and doing nothing. I write. So, and this keeps coming up.
And is there a story, you're afraid to tell?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. I'm not afraid at all. In fact, there are stories that I'm dying to tell, but people are afraid to hear them. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm dying to tell a lot of stories, but people don't want to hear them.
Right. Um,
Yeah.
Cinema in one word, according to you.
Life.
What is that one word for your younger self you would say?
Thank you for making all the gloriously terrible mistakes that you made because they are what has brought me here.
Lovely. Um, if you were given a superpower, for the entire day, how would you use it?
If I was given a superpower, I've thought about this, and I really feel, without trying to act too cute, that the only superpower I would have, like I would love to have, is would be to have the power to heal
Right.
um, all that is broken in everybody,
Yeah.
so that we could all really, really, really have a time on this life with just unabashed joy
Right.
and 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 without any sense of one-upmanship, competitiveness,
Right.
jealousy, bitterness, rivalry, antagonism, any of those shit things. I really feel like it would be really, really amazing because I think everybody ultimately, the people who act like that and who do things like that are ultimately reacting to their own trauma.
This
It
I
just
really
comes out in ways.
this I really want to know is if today there was a biopic made on your personality, who do you think
Oh
would play the
God.
who do you think which actor, it could be Hollywood or Bollywood, would play you the best?
I don't know, man. Who's the coolest person in town? It would be him.
I think I would answer that. I think Moses Singh plays Moses Singh the best.
You know, the thing is, I actually, the one thing that as much as I love film,
Yeah.
and as crazy I am about being a storyteller and a filmmaker and all of that I love, I never want to act.
Okay.
So I find acting very strange, actually. And I'm happy to admire it when it's coming out of someone else. But for myself, I find it like the weirdest thing to do. So I don't want to act ever. So this biopic will probably never get made.
No, but if it does get made, I just see you playing you, man. So, yeah.
Well, thank you. I take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
Also, like a very tough sell for a producer because who's going to put their money into me as an actor? No one.
Well, that comes to the end of the episode. Moses, you were so insightful, and there's so much inspiring things which we've learned today, and all the viewers also watching today. There's no shortcut for hard work, as you really said. And thank you so much for giving the time. And I want to wish you all the best for your future endeavors. Hope you keep smiling and shining always, my friend. And
Thank you.
see you on the other side really soon. Whenever I'm in the Bay, I'll probably get in touch and we'll connect.
Let me know for sure.
Yeah, it'll
Let
be
me know for
nice.
sure. And thank you so much. That was really lovely. And thank you for taking the time out.